What's up everybody, it's John with Gilly Construction, bringing you a tool repair video today. We got ourselves the Makita 2400 MAC compressors, 2.5 horsepower of kick-ass. I love this thing. I've had it for years, it's taken some serious abuse. As you can see, we're missing an air filter cover, and we're also having some other issues like a malfunctioning pressure switch, which I'm going to take you step by step, the process of taking the motor off, taking the pressure switch off, and putting on the new one. And in the comments or description, I'll leave you guys a link for where I got these replacement parts. Should save you guys a ton of money and keep the compressor working. And this thing's got life in it. It's gonna keep kicking ass. So let's get it back to life. Let's get to work.
This compressor's been MIA for about 5 to 6 months now. Upon inspection, had little to no oil, which I drained. We do have the filter cam, no screw, and you can see the years of buildup. We're going to clean all this off. On this side is where the pressure switch is located, and we will be loosening and removing the motor from the blue frame so that we can unthread this pressure switch and thread the new one on.
The reason for that is because our pressure switch is going to need to be threaded onto this tank and then have all these hoses connected to it. So we're going to have this free and clear of the motor. There's no way that we're going to be able to install this device with all of this stuff here. So we're going to take this motor, we're going to release it from the frame and from the tanks. That way we have better access to our pressure switch. Okay, so let's get started here. I'm noticing that after I tilt this up on the side that I can access these bolts right underneath here, which are holding the motor down to the blue frame. So I'm going to grab a ratchet and socket, and I'm going to pop this bad boy off and see if that releases the motor enough for us to access the pressure switch. Okay, so here we are with our ratchet, a 1/2 inch open end wrench, and some sockets. And these are the bolts I was talking about, these 4 things right here. Those are holding on the motor to the blue frame. And the blue frame is all connected to the tanks and everything. So this is the only thing that's going to be free once we undo these bolts. Okay, so we've got our nuts and bolts all done, and we have this motor loose. There's another hose here attached to the top of the motor, and we have loosened that up right here, and we are free from that. Okay, so we've got the motor loose. As you can see, we're loose. Disconnected the air hose going to the tanks. This is the air supply hose, which is a rigid hose. You got to make sure that you do not bend this hose, or you will have problems. We've got our motor out, and we have enough room to access the side there with our pressure switch. So we're going to set up over there now, take out the old pressure switch, and stick in the new one. Alright, well, excuse me for the interruption here. It's hailing right now and I'm in the middle of LA. So here's the new pressure switch. Here's the old one. Looks like we've got some new compression fittings for the existing hose to the air tank. We're going to just disassemble all of this and take this old one off. So I'm going to start by removing this soft copper line right here, and this electrical, actually, I'm sorry, this is the pressure regulator line. I'm going to remove all of these from the air switch. This will allow us to twist the air switch off of the threaded tank. So watch this one. We've identified the old existing pressure switch, and we are going to start off by removing the soft copper line and then this pressure regulator line. That will allow us to then thread the entire pressure switch off of the air tanks, which is ultimately our goal. And then we're going to do the same process in reverse, putting the new one on. So let's get to work. Alright, so we've got the old faulty pressure switch off. We're going to put some Teflon around the threads of the tank, and we're going to put on our new one and then wire up the new pressure switch. I wanted to go over a couple things here. This is the special plug that comes with the wires. So this is designed to be taken out if you have to. It's actually two pieces. So they kind of wrap around the wire and then you crimp it together using some channel locks like so. I press them tight together like that. Try not to overly press them and damage the wire. And then you can push it into this little opening right here. It kind of clicks it in, holds it tight. Now I'm going to reconnect the wires. We've got our power here from the extension, and we've got our power feeding the motor. So this is going to be on the top, and this will be over here on the bottom. And we're going to wire that up right now, and then we'll set the motor back in and make our connections with our soft copper line here. And if you notice, I am going to be taking this 90-degree elbow off of the old pressure switch and putting it onto the bottom right here of the new one. And that's going to be our regulator hose right here. Okay, so actually we're going to be taking a couple things off of the old pressure switch. I'm not really sure why they didn't provide these, but the elbow connecting the regulator line and these two caps on either side. There's an elbow that was here and one cap and one cap here. We are going to take those off the old one and put them on the new one. That's how we connected our regulator line, and we're going to be filling these two holes with those caps right here. So those require a 14mm wrench and a little bit of Teflon, and just tighten them in there. Okay, so we actually pulled off the plastic Makita cover here, and this is the exposed motor of the compressor. I wiped all of this down using my trusty brush and my trusty toothbrush, and then I took an air compressor blowing nozzle and kind of finished off the job. Okay, so let's get our black plastic cover back on for the air compressor here. Then it's facing back. Careful not to catch it on any of the wires or the hoses on the backside here. No big deal. And it slides over into place. Now these are going to be the 4 Allen key screws on the sides here. We're going to get those put in, and then we'll remount this and then rehook our tank supply hose to the actual motor. Okay, so we've got our motor all mounted back together. We've got our air supply hose tightened in, which is a little bit difficult because we got managed it with some channel locks. I'm going to be installing our new filter screw, which inside here is a paper filter. And we've already tightened down all the screws mounting the bolt to the frame of the bracket, so we're feeling pretty snug right now. We're just about ready to fire this up. Let's get this cinched down. Alright, so we finished wiping down the machine. We double checked that the bolts of the motor were nice and snug, so everything feels nice and tight on here. We placed our filter on, we double checked our air supply hose, and it looks like our wiring's pretty good. So let's fire it up and make sure that the actual settings on the pressure switch for the cut in and cut out air are set right. Usually they come factory set pretty decently, but we'll just double check. Let's see if we even get it running. Alright, let's let it. I'm going to let it run for a few seconds here, and let's see if we can get it to shut off at the right pressure. Alright, well, it looks like it cut out about 125 pounds. We'll adjust that a little bit on the back here, because we want it to go up to about 130 or 35 psi. So the screw on the right hand side, we'll just get it clockwise to the right, righty-tighty, and that'll slowly increase the pressure. So the next time it jumps up, you should see that the pressure cutout will be a little bit higher. And if not, you can adjust a little bit more. But for right now, this looks like it's working great. Check out the comments and the links below to get the parts. And just to go over a quick, I'll give you guys a quick list of all the tools, everything that we use, and the sizes. So hopefully that'll help you prepare for it. Thanks again. We'll see you guys soon. All right, so here's a quick run by of the tools that we used. We've got a 15 millimeter, 14 millimeter, and 13 millimeter open end wrench, a 5 millimeter long extension Allen key that fits a socket, or ratchet, I'm sorry. We've got our channel locks, mid-size channel locks. We've got a toothbrush. We've got our ratchet. We've got our Teflon tape. This is the 13 millimeter socket that we used on the bottom to remove the bolts from the bottom. And here's one of our M6 55 millimeter bolts that we used to put our filter back on. So that was it. We used these tools right here. We got it plugged in, looking good.